Live from the Thomas and Mack Center on the campus of UNLV, you're listening to ESPN Las Vegas.
All right, here we go on this Tuesday. Cofield and company. John Von Tobel is here. It's Cofield. We're going to hunt down Josh Pastner in just a little bit. A lot of basketball talk today. We got 2 hours on the way. A little bit abbreviated as we'll be stepping out of the way for Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I know John's very much into that. He's got a full report on the Home Run Derby. Middle of the show, we'll talk about the odds for the game tonight and betting odds for the rest of the World Cup. Also, fade or play, second half for Major League Baseball. John, what's going on?
Nothing much. Very excited to be here. I enjoy this environment, as we always talk about. I like this guy. He's got a first apron outfit on. Absolutely fantastic. Good NBA reference. Summer league's been fun. And the performances from some of the young guys have been absolutely tremendous. We're starting to see some guys get shut down, so that's kind of a bummer. We're at that point of I guess the league year, which is only 10 days long. But I'm fired up, man. And it's not even that hot outside.
This is one of those days I actually will complain. I never complain. I don't know why. I was worked up today.
Really?
I walked in and I was like, man, it's really humid today. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then it's 20%. It's not that humid.
The humidity is there. When I don't know if you know this. I run every day, Steve. I think I've told you this before. And when I was out running today, I did notice, I was getting misty pretty quick. And the humidity for 20% out here, I guess it's not that much in like the grand scheme of things, but for us, that's a lot. And I will also say, for those, and we're talking to a Vegas audience, so I think many understand this, especially a sports audience, there is a special je ne sais quoi about the heat in the parking lot of the Thomas and Mack Center. Just that black asphalt radiating heat like it's an oven just soaks it up and spits it back out. There's something really interesting and different about walking across that parking lot to get here when you're in the dead of summer, which is why I'm glad I'm not as fat anymore. It's a very underrated aspect about not being as fat.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, you don't sweat as much from all different places. You still sweat, but the rolls don't leak as much because there's fewer rolls.
It is one of the hottest places on earth, there's no doubt. Something we didn't get into the other day, as we walk in, there's it's not much of a setup. I got to tell you, I think I would have a table set up and maybe someone there to give a little information. They're also buried in the corner behind another radio station, but there's a sign over there for the Las Vegas Diamond Arena. Are you familiar with the Diamond Project?
To an extent. You explained it a little bit more the other day.
Yeah. So it's the piece of property across from, I'm pointing, because I can see it from here. It's the piece of property that's across from Mandalay Bay, where they were initially going to build a Ferris wheel. Mm-hmm. High Roller beat them to the punch. I think that company went under. But they did get sort of the structure built that still hasn't been taken down, but that would be the piece of property, which is an interesting spot.
I mean, I think it would be great. Talk about foot traffic, being on the strip, doing all those sort of things, being within an area that a lot of people are going to be able to get to with relative ease. The backdrop, all those sky flyovers, things like that. I think it would be a great spot for it.
I think it would be lovely. I have no idea if the Las Vegas Jacks have any interest in being there. We're so far away from, one, finding out who the ownership group is, and then, two, what the hell the plan is going to be for the arena.
What are you talking about? I think everything's set.
Is this on?
It is.
Can I just
What's
jump
going on,
in?
Coach?
Of course you can. Yeah,
of course. Jump in?
We were actually just planning for Josh Pastner, the coach of UNLV, to come in and do like he does on his radio show and just give us a state of the summer. And we would just go get a drink for about 15 minutes.
Well, first of all, you guys are talking about the NBA team. Why isn't anyone – it cost over $1 billion to buy an NBA team. You can buy the Runnin' Rebels college basketball team for about $10 to $12 million.
Wow.
You still get a tax write-off. You can be involved in every single thing. You can sit right there on the bench with us. You can be as involved or as little involved as you want. Think of the amount of money you would save buying our team compared to an NBA team. That's nothing against an NBA. I see you pulling out a couple hundreds there.
Yeah, I got $220 on me. What does that get me?
I'll take it to you, NIL. I'll never turn it down. You know what I mean? So that's what I've said. I've said, hey, Magic Johnson, come by our team. Rich Paul, LeBron James, by our team. Mr. Foley, you already have a professional team. Come by the college team. Let's think outside the box on that. So I just wanted to throw that out there while you're talking about the NBA team. Look, nobody would be more excited for an NBA team to be here. However, the facts are what the facts are in this day and age with college basketball. You almost need ownership. It's just kind of the way it is.
Have you made this pitch to some super rich people? And if you have, how do they react?
Yeah, I mean, I've made it to different people. They think it's a great idea because technically you can again, it's not – there's really not obviously we're in the NBA where it's where you have the ownership and you have 30 NBA teams, or now it could be 32 NBA teams eventually. But it's more about, hey man, you're really involved in something. You're part of it. Everybody knows it. Like you would be announced, like, hey, this person, if they wanted to be announced, like you can be involved and around as much as you want, and you probably could have more enjoyment because it's a little bit of obviously it's a smaller operation than an NBA team. I get the allure of the NBA, but it's just the facts are these are part of the sell guys that we're trying to sell on why the importance of trying to get NIL, and it's an interesting deal. You're always thinking outside the box, and this is just an outside the box idea that I've been trying to pitch is you want to be an owner? People who with that type of financial well-being, a lot of times they want to own a sports team. Well, it's a lot less expensive to own a college sports team, and you could probably get the same thrills out of it with the same investment and the same excitement.
How do you strike the balance relationship-wise? Because I would assume that if you get money from somebody and they want to be around, but I'm sure there's been a person or two. You don't have to name names, obviously, but you're like, all right, buddy, like you're around the program, but let's dial it back a little bit with how much you want.
I think for the most part, I mean, people, they understand. I mean, like they're not coaches. I mean, that's not what they do, and they're relying on me to be the coach. We haven't got that certain dollar amount
Sure.
where you're having that one individual person that could probably have a lot of say. Sort of like what St. John's, with Rick Pitino, I forget.
Mike Rapoli.
Mike Rapoli.
Yep.
And then I think he started Vitamin Water, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a billionaire, and he gives a lot every year. And
he loves St. John's.
Yeah, he loves St. John's, and they get a lot of great players, by through the financial transactions on that, and it's legal. I mean, it's illegal. It's not against the rules. But
this would have been something like 10 years ago if you, as a big time college basketball coach, came on and said, "Buy my program." People would be like, "That's disgusting."
It'd be. I mean,
not anymore.
You wouldn't be coaching anymore. You know what I mean? Because you would say, "How could you say that?" But it's just a different world that we're in right now, and that's just the reality of it. It's a different time and place with college athletics. Will college athletics get to a point? Because what I foresee, and I heard Greg Byrne, who's the athletic director at Alabama, say this. When they had their NACTA National Athletic Directors Convention here in Vegas about a month and a half ago, and he's saying the way it's going, obviously Alabama football makes the way they are roster spending for football, he's eventually getting to the point where you're not going to make any money. You're going to be losing money. And basketball is already losing for their roster. What they've spent is already there's not enough money. They're losing money. So at some point, like, where does the road kind of end on that? And that's where the interesting dynamic becomes, because we're in pro sports. There is a salary cap. There is a limit. Yes, we all get it. The owners are with the billionaires, but. Right now in college athletics, there's really not a cap, and I think that's a big issue. And I keep saying this. There's either got to be a federal law. I've said this, Steve, since I've been here. Either got to be a federal law, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They've got a lot of other things going on. But my alternative to that is they should just be a collective bargaining agreement with the players. I know people are resisting that because of you don't want to make them employees. But I don't know any other way to control somewhat of the spending on where we're going, to making sure that college athletics survives and continues to be healthy for all sports. And I'm not just talking men's basketball and football. Obviously, those are the two in the forefront, but every other sport as well, too. I think it's so important. So I think if you get a collective bargaining agreement, that eliminates lawsuits. everyone agrees. They're probably, you put a salary cap, this. Here's a share for the player. However it works, and I think that would rein things in and have some clarity.
Would you have to collectively bargain per conference, or would you have to do it nationwide?
Good question. I don't know on that how that would be. I think I would assume be a national deal. Obviously, not every conference is going to be what the SEC or the Big Ten can do, but you'd probably have the opportunity to opt into that. Hey, I can get to this, but here's the limit. Mm-hmm. So even for the SEC, maybe again, I'm just making a number throw. Maybe the limit is whatever for basketball, $8 million. That's the limit, and if you go over that, it's, there's a big time penalty you have to pay, but it's $8 million. That's it. Football, maybe it's $30 million. That doesn't mean every school is going to get to that, but maybe that's what the max is for the super leagues right now on where that at. I just think unless there's a federal law where there's no more lawsuits, because look, all these guys just are suing and winning, like MJ Collins, who played at Utah State, and Colby King, their eligibility is exhausted. They just sued. The judge in Ohio granted them an injunction, overruled the NCAA rules. They're going to go play at Cincinnati for Jared Calhoun. So
what do you mean?
I mean, you just
MJ should play here.
Well, I would love to get him.
I gave him the song and dance at the Final Four, because he was actually, at the time it was off the record. Who cares now? But he went, well, after I talked to him, he did mention, like, hey, if the draft thing doesn't work out, I do have an interest in playing another year.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see it work out. He's a really good kid.
No, he's a great guy, and he's a very, very good player. But my point is, you can't have an NCAA rule and then just go to a judge every time and just get an injunction. It's a hard way to run a system, if that makes sense. That you have a rule and you're just going to say, okay, I'm just going to go over here and sue and go to a judge, and obviously the courts overrule the NCAA. And the only way to eliminate that is federal law but even more so than would be a collective bargaining agreement.
We're out here at the Summer League at the Thomas & Mack. This is UNLV's building, but for the next 2 weeks, it belongs to the NBA. Josh Pastner is here with us. First of all, how you doing?
Yep.
How was the off season?
I'm doing great. It's been 24/7. It's been nonstop. We've had a really good off season. We have started our workouts at 6 a.m. We start every day at 6 a.m.
Is that a change?
Been a little bit of a change, yeah. I mean, last year we did a little more in the afternoons. This year we start everything at 6 a.m. I feel a couple things. Number one, it just gives us better discipline early in the morning. 2, you feel like you've accomplished something. 3, it forces you to go to bed earlier.
Yep.
And once you get into that routine, you actually when you get up a little, you get up just in the mornings early just by getting up like that, because you kind of got into your clock. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're an early morning guy or not, Steve.
I'm not as much as John. John was pointing at me because John's become a workout freak, so he's lost like 60 pounds recently.
You look great, John.
And he loves getting up early in the morning. Yeah. Well, you did already because your shift's a lot earlier than mine.
I get up at 3:45 every morning.
Yeah.
Go work out about like 5:30.
Good for you. You look great.
Look at him flexing. He's like, okay.
Yeah, no, he looks great. I didn't even recognize him walking in here. I was like, who is that guy? So
we'll talk about VO2 later.
Yeah, we can talk about VO2 later. But so we've had a good summer. Yeah. Obviously, Steve, you had reported on it that one of our really good players, Tyler Harris, had an MCL injury. Thankfully, we don't want any injury, but thankfully it was an MCL, meaning that it wasn't anything more than that. He'll be back. He had an MCL tear, so I had to go through a surgery on that, but he'll be back. And because of that, I really have avoided. Last summer, I went a lot of contact because I was trying to establish culture. This year, we've done really focused on shooting, skill development, and just really lived in the weight room and the conditioning part, less about contact. Now, look, basketball is a contact game. You just can't show up to our first game and not have had any contact. I mean, you got to play, and you don't. Part of the opportunity to be good is you got to stay healthy, but you also got to be prepared. And being prepared, you're going to have contact. When we do more 5-on-5 contact, will probably be more when we come back in the fall, more so than this summer, so we can work on everything that we need to work on, getting our strength and just getting stronger. Tyler Harris's injury was a non-contact injury. We were playing 5-on-5, and he pivoted, and it just was a freak thing. But thankfully, wasn't anything that that he'll be back for the start of the season. But probably because of that, I was like, let's just no more contact for this year, for this summer.
So we want to go through the roster, introduce some of the new players, but I'm curious on the roster build itself. Was the plan to go very guard heavy, or is that the way it worked out? And then follow-up that would be, how many times did you want to kind of throw your head through a wall because of the money part of it? Like you said last year, you embraced not chasing a kid for 3 and 4 years. This is transactional. It's probably a 2-week process. So you talk about the financials in a minute, but on you're guard heavy. And I remember watching the team last year, and you talked to us a bunch about it. When you got light on guards, I'm sure that stuck with you. Like, I need guards this year.
Well, you're right. So I think to your point, Steve, our plan was we were going to go more perimeter-oriented in a lot of different areas. Part of that was because we felt last season, obviously we lost our starting point guard in Miles Shea, but we were short on guards. And it's hard to win like that, at the level that we all want to win at here in Vegas. So that was deliberate, that we wanted to get to even if we had a little more guards than normal. The way we look at it, we're going to put the best players on the floor, and if we need to spread the floor and space the floor with 4 guards and drive and kick and find guys, we'll do that. That's one. In regards to so that was intentional. We did get some good front court guys, but again, part of our deal is finding guys who are undervalued and under the radar. That's still a big thing with what we do. In regards to the financial aspect, I love the new game. I have no qualms about this new era of recruiting. I mean, I think it's awesome as in terms of, there are challenges to it, of course, because of the money, but the other part of it is you don't waste time. I'm all about efficiency. I believe in efficiency. I do not like wasting time, and this allows you not to waste time. Now, you've got to be really good on your evaluation. You've got to be, because in basketball, and we've said this, you could have a misevaluation or injury in basketball, and it can just wreck the team. Where in football, you can misevaluate and or have some injuries, and you can be okay. Basketball, it's really hard to overcome that. So you got to be darn near perfect and threading the needle on your evaluations, and a lot of those are via data analytics, getting all the intel from the people they've been with, and then the film. And so that is something that we spent a lot of time on. We took our time. I know a lot of people. I was getting emails from people saying, why haven't you signed anyone? We don't. I'm like, hey. And my response was, I wasn't trying to win the social media deal in April. In May, my whole focus was I wanted to win November through March. And so we were going to take our time. And obviously not everyone knows. There were some guys we wanted, and then it just became, hey, I really like you, Coach Pastner. I really like everything you have said. I believe in you. But you're $600,000 difference between me and this other school. I just can't take that hit. And I get it. And that's just the deal. So he went to a couple guys like that went to other schools. Or we were on a guy about to get a guy, and school comes in and just triples our offer. And and we're like, hey, we're holding firm on our offer. This is the deal. This is where we're at. So that's all part of it. So I think some of the fans were a little worried, but I kept telling everyone, just this is even though it's a fast process, we're not going to just rush into it, because you got to make the right decisions.
So when you look up a lot of the guys that you're bringing in, especially specifically the guards, you see a lot of combo guard pop up. Is that purposeful? What is a true point guard nowadays?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys both know this. I mean, basketball has become where it's interchangeable. It's positionless. It's interchangeable. Things are different because of the three-point shot, the floor spacing. I mean, Tyron Jones back in the day would have, him leaving the paint. I mean, he's good, just letting him just run the lane and figure it out sometimes, and not put him in a box. So yeah, I think we have multiple people that can play multiple positions. What I would say is, do we have Terrence Ford, we call him T-Baby or T-Ford. He's a true point guard. Coda Suttle's a high school kid, is a true point guard. Now, Cam Miles, the kid transfer from Florida State, good player. He can kind of play on off the ball. I would say the two true point guards, where if you're kind of traditionally, that would be Terrence Ford, again, his nickname's T-Baby, or Coda Suttle's. But, you look at other than that, everyone is pretty much positional, other than Jeremy Fumena, who's a 5-man. He's 7 feet, a legit 7 foot. He's a traditional 5. Everybody else is just kind of, you can just play mix or match and just figure it out. And so what will be interesting is this. I don't. When I say it's not going to affect us in the Mountain West Conference, because Mountain West Conference is a good league. There's going to be big guys, but it's more about when you're playing in the Players era, and it's Kansas, and they've got 3 7-footers, or the next game you're playing West Virginia or Auburn. I mean, they've got multiple 7-footers. Excuse me, you're playing San Diego State. Multiple big guys. Excuse me. I got a little choked up thinking of the Players era.
Started
Kansas,
thinking about
you know what I mean? Geez almighty, the 7-footers. But I say all this to say that that's where where you can maybe have some issues if you're not making shots and putting pressure on those teams in transition, that you're faster and outrunning them for those big guys, because you'll see in those power teams, SMU, Stanford, we're going to have to use our quickness and our speed to overwhelm the size. Otherwise, advantage will for sure be those type of teams.
Josh Pastner's here. He's going to hang out with us for another 40 minutes, so we got him for the whole hour. We got so much to get into with the roster build, basketball topics around the NBA, around college basketball. So he's rip-roaring and ready to go. We'll take a break here. We'll come back with Coach Josh Pastner from UNLV in just a couple.
Now back to ESPN Las Vegas, broadcasting from inside the Thomas and Mack.
So one of the cool things when we come out to the Summer League is we always get to check in, sort of that middle of the offseason report with the head coach of the Rebels, and Josh Pastner is running the program right now. There's a million things we need to get to with the roster build, but one of the things people I think are going to be really concerned about, so I want to make sure we get it in now. How close are you to putting out the full schedule, the non-con? You mentioned Stanford. That's a back from last year. We know about. Well, I'm going to let you talk about the games. I don't have to list them for you.
We're almost done. We're just trying to schedule one final game. Remember, the conference, because some of the teams left to go to the Pac-12, we, instead of playing 20 conference games, we're going to play 18. So you had to get more conference games. And, Steve, a new rule by the NCAA this year, you can have 3 exhibition games, not 2, which I love. I wish we could do 4 or 5, but we're allowed 3. So we will, and the schedule should be released. We're fit. By the end of the week, we'll be done with our schedule, and then once contracts are all situated, I'm hoping the next 10 to 12 days that the schedule gets released. But we are playing at San Diego State, which is a road game, but Stanford's here. SMU's in Phoenix, playing Washington State in the Jack Jones deal.
Okay.
Jack Jones Classic there in Henderson. We're in the Players era, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And you said Kansas to open.
Kansas, then we play depending on how we do, it's either Auburn or West Virginia. And then the other side of the bracket is Houston and Rutgers and Florida and Notre Dame.
It's not do Rutgers again.
I was going to say.
I didn't enjoy that game.
Yeah. So those are 3 games in a row. And we have 3 exhibition games, all at home. We play Utah. These are great games.
Yeah.
Utah, BYU, and Missouri.
Wow.
2 Big 12 teams and an SEC team. I get it's an exhibition, but it's a real game as in terms of everything will be real.
How'd you manage that?
I had to wheel and deal a little
pretty
bit.
good.
Yeah, right.
That's a nice slate. Yeah.
I think it's a great slate. I get it. It's in October, and I think it's going to be great for the fans. I understand it's not a countable game. However, you're going to get to see the teams, 3 high-level opponents, an SEC team and 2 Big 12 teams, all here in Thomas and Mack. Mm-hmm. So it's a really good deal. And that BYU game, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is the 24th of October, which is a Saturday, should be a great. Obviously there's for BYU there's a large Mormon population here in Las Vegas, and we want the entire stadium to be filled of Rebel fans, but there is a big contingent of BYU fans here in Las Vegas. So we'll accept your money. So buy the tickets for that game as well too. Yeah. So it should be a great game. We're really excited. Kevin Young's a great coach at BYU. Alex Jensen at Utah, and then obviously Dennis Gates at Missouri. So 3 great opportunities for us before we play in November.
How hard was the retain of Tyron Jones? How much competition was there? And I assume he left money on the table.
Yeah. I mean, Tyron, there was a lot of competition. Here's the thing with
so
Tyron
much
Jones.
upside. I mean,
here's what I would say. Tyron Jones, Steve, 1, trusted me and the staff. 2, loved our style of play. 3, loved the system, and 4, knows he can get to the NBA from here. can play above the rim, and we want to be as fast as we were last year for the most part. We want to even play faster. It's really important for us to do that, to be the running Rebels. I know it's look, winning's most important in this community, as we all know, but we want to play fast. We want to play in attack mode, play up tempo, play downhill, live in the paint. We were first in the conference last year during conference play in three-point shooting. We were first in pace of play and in tempo. We were second in paint points in the conference. So we've done a lot of good things. We've got to be better defensively, and we've got to be a better defensive rebounding team. I think those are two big areas that we've got to be at.
I got to take two here. We'll come back. Josh Pastner's with us. More about the roster, more about what's coming up this season with the Running Rebels.
Now back to ESPN Las Vegas, broadcasting from inside the Thomas and Mack.
Getting ready for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game right here on ESPN Las Vegas in about 90 minutes. So we won't have as much time as we normally do to bounce around topics of the day. Josh Pastner is with us, the Running Rebels head coach. Where should LeBron finish up his career?
Look, I really, he's earned the right to obviously pick wherever he wants to go. It's two things. One is, I think he should go to Cleveland to kind of end it, just because I think it would be a fitting deal. But the second thing is, it never felt like he was as connected to a Laker like the old traditional greats of the Lakers. I mean, obviously he won a championship and did a lot of, became the all-time NBA leading scorer in the Lakers jersey, first father-son combo, all that good stuff. But I don't know if the Lakers, again, this is just from an NBA basketball fan, and I don't know if they ever embraced him and he embraced them in a sense, or it's just we're in 2026, that this is the world that we're in, where you're never going to be situated like the old days and affiliated with a certain team. I know there's reports about him being at Golden State and Steph Curry and all that, but I think if there's one thing to kind of be fitting to the end of his career would be Cleveland. And they have a good team, by the way. They do have a good team.
I think you're right, by the way. Actually, I put the onus on the Lakers organization and the fans. I think they were arrogant with LeBron. They owe him a lot. He brought them back from the brink.
Yeah,
they were non-existent.
Yeah.
Right? They had all these guys.
Are you a Lakers fan?
No, I'm a Clippers fan,
okay.
actually.
I saw Tyronn Lue the other day, and Ballmer, and Jeff Van Gundy. I saw them all down there in one of their games. But, yeah, I mean, it's interesting on the fact of that with the Lakers and LeBron. Just from an outside perspective, looking at that with those two,
Question from the...
But, heck, we could sue and try to get an injunction. He can play for UNLV.
Yeah, I saw you guys put that out on social media.
That was a good one. Yeah.
From social media, I asked people if they wanted to ask you some questions.
Did you see the July 4th one on our social media from my time after we won the game versus Wyoming? Where I was saying, God bless the conference. God bless the Mountain West Conference. God bless the Rebels, and God bless the United States of America, land of the free, because of the we put that out there on July 4th, by the way.
I used that today, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, our graphics crew did. God bless Cofield and Company. From the web, someone wanted to ask, are you satisfied with this roster and the size you've compiled? Are you still looking?
Yeah, we are still looking. We have a couple open spots. Now, we are waiting on the kid Allen Breed. There's a waiver. He's a good player. Started at Providence during an NCAA tournament run, played at NC State, was obviously in the tournament last year, but he needs a waiver. If his waiver goes through, we're just waiting for word from the NCAA. If the waiver goes through, we don't really have any room financially for anyone else other than we have scholarships. We could take some other guys. If his waiver gets denied, then we would have some money to play with a little bit in a sense because of the way we've budgeted stuff, and then maybe try to get another big guy if possible. But we are just kind of in a holding pattern until we hear what's the word from the waiver, and we just don't know, and we're at the mercy of the NCAA timeline.
Well, let's talk about some of the other big guys. You mentioned Jeremy, but why'd you guys want MJ Thomas?
Rebounder, motor, energy, big-time rebounder, can do a lot of different things, hard-nosed dude, tough. You look at his numbers from New Orleans. I mean, he just rebounds, and he plays hard. Great culture guy as well too. So he's a competitive warrior.
What does hometown dude he prepped here? What does Sebastian Mack do for you?
Yeah, not too many guys could say they've averaged double digits in the Big Ten. I mean, he had some big games there with UCLA. Was a double-digit scorer. Missouri started out really well, and then kind of fell out of the rotation. Had 20-something against Illinois, in their rival game there early in the season. So we're fortunate to get Sebastian. He's had a really good summer. He can really put the ball in the basket, Steve. That's what he can do. Like you said, he's a Las Vegas native here. I mean, he finished up at Coronado his last 2 years, and we're excited for him to be here and looking for him to have a really good season.
Why take 2 freshmen? I thought that was done. You didn't say that, but like a lot of people, a lot of coaches are like, we're not doing freshmen anymore.
Well, both freshmen were signed late. So let me just say this: Jackson Kiss, who's really good, we tried to get him in the fall. Got and TJ Otzelberger, obviously the job he's done at Iowa State. They have a bigger budget than we do. We couldn't afford Jackson Kiss in the fall. Something didn't work out there. Boom, boom, boom. Came in the open market. The time he came in the open market, most teams didn't have spots available or the money available, because for the fan base, we didn't rush through in the beginning of April and just try to be done in the first 7 days. We were slow moving. We had, based on our budget, had some money available and spots available. And it came to us. Jackson Kiss is a really good player. Here's how I'm going to compare Jackson Kiss. So, yes, he's a freshman high school kid, but he's a good player, and he plays hard. Different type of player, but he's going to have the same impact as in like a Tyron Jones, as fans are going to really like Jackson Kiss like that because of the way he plays. And then Coda Suttles, we got him really late. True point guard, hard nose. He's an older guy. We did look at 2 high school guys in the fall. We pursued Luke Barnett. We thought we were getting him. Incredible shooter, incredible, the best shooter in all in the country. He was ready to come, and then Kansas came in and just we couldn't match it. And he went to Kansas. And then Joe Filon, we were all over Joe Filon, really good player. UCLA came in and just paid a lot more money, so we couldn't get those 2 guys. That was earlier, and then we said fine. So to your point, Steve, I have no problem if we don't sign any high school guys, because we're going to get we're a good option for portal guys, but I'm not anti-signing high school guys either. Look at a Tyron Jones. Look at an Isaac Williamson. Look at Jackson Kiss is going to have a really good season this season. So we will sign the right high school guys. It might not always be early. It could be late. And then, of course, it's got to fit within the budgetary numbers with us. But also, don't forget, the rule has passed. 2 things I want to say this. The rule has passed 5 for 5, okay? So now you have 5 years to play, 5 years in college, no longer 4 or 5. And your clock starts at either when you're 19 or you start college, whatever comes first. So whether you enroll in college or you're 19, that's when your clock starts of your 5 years. So does that affect high school kids? Probably. It's like extra COVID year in a sense. So, you get another year. Guys are still going to take those older guys. Secondly, a lot of these guys who just graduated, like a Kamani Hamilton, are suing the NC2A to try to get an injunction like the MJ Collins did in different states. Kamani Hamilton's in the North Carolina injunction law court case. Kamani Hamilton has no more eligibility. But technically, if he wins the injunction in North Carolina, now we might not be able to afford him because he could be open in the free market, but not a lot of people have spots and/or the type of money to get some of these guys. I've gotten calls from guys who got cleared in that injunction. Hey, so it'll be an interesting dynamic over these next 3-4 weeks.
I ask you all the time about Howie Fleming. Is he part of a suit somewhere? What are his plans?
Howie Fleming is trying to get his year back. He's waiting from a waiver from the NC2A. Okay. So right now, technically as of today, his eligibility is expired, but he's trying to get his year back as well.
How do you find a guy at Lindenwood and Dontrez Williams?
Well, hopefully that Eric Harper and President Heavey, when they hired me, they said, okay, you've got to be a good evaluator and find guys. And that's, again, we did a good job in finding some. I love Dontrez Williams, by the way. Fans are going to love Dontrez Williams.
He's very good on social media.
Yeah,
I see him on IG almost every day.
Well, I don't know how he is.
But not late night.
Okay, that's
not
good
late
to know.
night. He's got to get up at 6.
He's
got to get up earlier.
He's got to be at practice at 6.
Yeah, we'll start at 6.
Yeah.
And he's been there. So, but fans are. I mean, he's a defender, steals guy, athlete, above the rim, and I'm just telling you, his potential and talent's just scratching the surface. And so he's going to get better and better and better as we go. Here's the other things, guys. Think about this. When I've got to think about high school guys. You're talking about high school guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the early signing periods in November, whatever. Well, it's sort of backwards. Because I don't know my budget for 26, 27 for the following year. I don't know because it depends on what we do this year. I'm sure we're going to want to retain guys. That's going to cost money. So how much, to your point on how much do you put into the high school guys in the fall, because it's sort of backwards, because you don't know some of these things. So you're almost better off signing the high school guys after you kind of get through the season, know who you can realistically keep back, kind of what your budget is, what you need. It's almost like high school recruiting should be in next May, if that makes sense, just based in the calendar of how things are.
I know you're jonesing to talk about your fitness and go head-to-head with Coach.
Well, I have other questions outside of my fitness.
I know you do.
I would love to talk fitness.
We're gonna pay some bills here. We'll come back in a couple minutes, and we'll wrap up with Josh Pastner, UNLV head coach, who's on with Cofield and Company for the entire hour.
Now back to ESPN Las Vegas, broadcasting from inside the Thomas and Mack.
All right, time is short with Josh Pastner. He's given us a lot here on this summer appearance on Cofield and Company of the NBA Summer League. John, go ahead.
About what?
Fire away.
So
I monopolize a lot of the conversation.
Well, all right. Well, you can do with the fun stuff first, which is so I almost got my VO2 to 40.
Good for you.
It's not great, obviously, in the grand scheme of things. But
What does that mean?
I was a 20. I actually don't know what it means. I just know that my number keeps going up. And when I first started running, I was at a 23.
Are you running every day?
I run at least 3 miles every day.
Good for you.
See? Look at that.
All right,
good.
but he's holding back. Like,
Okay, now
he's going to be like my VO Max. What is it?
Now-
VO2 Max?
VO2 Max.
Now,
He'll be like mine's 198.
This morning I did.
Yeah, it was-
I usually go like in 50 minutes on the spin bike, but
Sure.
today I did 20 minutes on the spin bike. Then I did 30 minutes incline walk at. Now I was going, so I'd be at 25 incline speed 4.3.
That's insane.
It's hard, and then I would go down. So I'd do intervals on that. I would try to, and then I went into the sauna.
Yeah.
Then I went and swam
Okay.
early morning.
Yeah.
But got all that in.
John's eyes will light up.
And that's all before the 6 a.m. practice?
Well, we're off this week
Oh,
because
okay.
of summer
All right.
league, so
Okay.
I could go a little later today.
See,
but that's
So
because
John's going to get out here at 4:45 to work out
now
with you.
I do want to say when I do.
I want media availability, by the way, at like 7:15 in the morning. I'll be there for that
I
because
like
then
that.
I can go right to football.
You know what? We might be practicing early, like the old John Chaney days. Remember when he used to practice 6 a.m. at
I
10?
remember.
Yep. So something to be said about that. But I tell the lifeguards when I'm swimming, don't say I'm not drowning. I am such a bad swimmer. It looks like I'm drowning, but I'm not. So you don't have to worry about me. I'll get to the other side.
now, I've always thought, media-wise, we should get Vegas media, and we should get with either the basketball coach or football coach and go through a basketball/football workout
Yeah,
with you guys
that'd be good.
for good content. There's a lot of
We would need it.
Steves.
We would need to get we would need to get waivers.
Yes,
and
I'd sign.
liability
I'd
signs,
sign.
You know,
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to do these Spartan races. There's a
Yep.
10K here in October,
that's awesome.
so I'm trying to get ready for that.
Good for you.
Yeah, so we're trying to get ripped and ready to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Those are great. You look great.
Thanks.
Congrats to you.
ran my first sub 28-minute 5K the other day. Let's go, baby.
Here we go.
See, that's it. What? That's all.
Basketball questions.
Like UNLV basketball.
You had hardcore questions.
Well, let me-
I did. Oh, so
you wanted to talk about
Summer League because I wanted to ask some
Yeah.
questions about this really quickly. So, how much have you been watching?
It's more about meetings with agents
Sure,
and
okay.
people. It's less about, even though I did watch one half of the Jazz and I thought Peterson's pretty good, but he doesn't play. He needs to play better defense.
So, yes, he does. But I was going to ask actually. So, are you familiar then with the free throw change that they
Yes,
have made?
I've watched it.
So, do you like this?
I think it's great for the speed of the game.
Okay.
I love it for this, like in this.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be good in the real, like in a. They do it in the G League.
Yep.
But I don't think it'd be good in college and or a traditional NBA game. I think you got to have too much. Yeah, that's not good. But in this type of environment or an environment where you just got to keep it moving, I think it's a good deal.
So for audience, for those that don't know, they have changed to a 1 free throw rule. So essentially, whatever you're awarded, so if it's a foul 3-point shot, 1 free throw worth 3 points,
Yep.
1 for 2, and so on and so
It
forth.
speeds the game up.
Speeds the game up. And what I thought was interesting was twofold. But the first one was for a league that has talked about it, and you could speak on this, big on fitness and basketball in general. The NBA, there's been so many injuries, soft tissue injuries, and part of it has been these guys are just running so much more. but they're also trying to speed the game up.
Yeah.
I feel like that seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, I also think part of it is, that the game has become, at least for, it's a year-round deal now, and things have got extended and extended and extended. The NBA is such that obviously the 82 games, and you don't have as many practices as you do in college, and but I don't know. Injuries have happened it's just probably there's just more focal point on it than ever before because of just the way modern technology and medicine and science and everything has gone as each year has gone by.
The other thing that I thought was pretty interesting, and I was curious because I was actually sitting with a member of the Chicago Bulls media staff yesterday, and his son actually was on Dave Rice's staff as a graduate assistant, so he's a little familiar with the program. But he was asking me a lot about UNLV, and it got me thinking, it being here, how good is it for your program in general to get people exposed to the brand? Just being in the building, seeing it.
Everyone, like a couple of the players, like Don Trez, said, "Coach, this arena is unbelievable." Because when he was on his visit, the arena was being used for another convention. He never seen the arena. This is unbelievable. And so for everyone coming through, it is critical. This is our best recruiting event because you're dealing with agents. Really, the agents are the ones, everyone's here, the meetings you have with the agents, and the agents love coming to Las Vegas. People love coming to Las Vegas. And so it is a so important event for UNLV overall, not just for men's basketball.
We have about a minute left. Do you like the changes in the Mountain West Conference? Some of the teams swapped out and new ones swapped in?
Yeah, it's still going to be a really good league. Obviously, good teams left, but good teams came in, and they added 8 teams to the NCAA tournament. I still think that's going to favor the power conferences. However, look, the bottom line is, and I've said this, we got to be playing for league champion, meaningful games for a lot at stake as you're getting into deep February and into March. And so in order for that to happen, we need people to buy tickets. As much as I talk about NIL, they need to buy tickets. Joshua.Pastner@unlv.edu. Joshua.Pastner@unlv.edu. Email me if you want to get tickets or just buy tickets. And if you can't come to the game, I don't care if you buy a ton of tickets. I'll donate them to the school district, to different organizations so we get people in the stands. Email them and I'll get you set up.
Okay,
and I respond to all my emails directly, by the way. It's not to someone that you goes right to me.
We covered the whole hour. I
could keep going.
I know you can. But you're going to get some time off. We appreciate the time.
Time
off?
So what are you talking about? There's no time off.
Like about 5 minutes from now.
5 minutes. There you go.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, here we go. 4 o'clock hour. A little shorter today with the MLB All-Star Game coming up on ESPN Las Vegas. JVT is here. It's Cofield. Keyword of the day for our Lotus Summer of Fun is we're giving away a Mississippi River Cruise vacation. We're giving away all domestic vacations to celebrate America 250, or you can just take the cash. Keyword of the day, 702-364-1100. You got to text it in, is cabin, C-A-B-I-N, cabin, 702-364-1100. Lotus Summer Fun brought to you by Terribles and ESPN Las Vegas. You like the energy around Pastner? Because everything gets kind of sped up, doesn't it?
Just
like you have to kind of keep up. So imagine playing for him. You're just like, okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be like that. I'm an energetic person, as we have talked about.
You're
the energy chameleon.
Energy chameleon.
Yep. I blend in immediately with it. So I'm already in with the 6 a.m. practice. That's late. Let's get started at 5.
He was sort of showing off there about his workout.
Okay.
He came over the top on you.
I wanted to not argue, but I wanted to question at least at one point. I don't think you understand the incline level that he was talking about on that treadmill along with the speed.
What do you say, 4.3?
He's like a mountain goat. You know, like the pictures of the mountain goats that are just standing on the sheer side of a mountain, perfectly balanced? Did he say 25 on the incline? That's insane.
He's kind of crazy.
I mean, I could tell. You know, what's funny is every time I saw him during the season, he was obviously in the suit. You can't really tell. Then he stood up just now. I was like, okay.
Oh, he's pretty yoked up.
Low-key jacked, yeah.
Oh, he's in.
And you really don't really realize it because he was wearing the boxy suits and all sweaty and screaming about America.
Well, he pretty much, the rest of his existence, when you're around him, and obviously I'm around him a little more than you are, with the Rebels on the road and at some practices and availability, he's always got gym shorts on. Like, even on the road.
Sure.
It's always, like, I think he just works out and then is recruiting and coaching, and that's all he does.
See, that's the other low-key thing about getting in shape, too, is that you could fit a workout in and you don't get as sweaty either. So you can fit a workout in and still look relatively normal and go around and do things. Might smell a little bit.
You might smell a little bit.
Yeah.
Depends on your body chemistry.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to be too ripe. Because you're also trying to raise money. You're trying to pitch people around town. You can't be smelling it up.
I think it's the start of a good relationship. Marcus Arroyo-esque, myself and Josh Pastner.
There's a lot I could say about that one.
Well, as we all remember, Marcus Arroyo gave me that Gatorade on the team plane that one time.
We all remember that, yes. Big 4 time.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers presents The Big 4 at 4. Number 4.
Did that Gatorade mean more to you because it was after a loss?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes,
I think that's what you were shocked at, that he was like, instead of brooding up on the – because should we tell Arroyo stories?
Sure.
That are actually complimentary? Because his market is like, that guy.
I hate him. He was very nice after a loss. I believe it was the San Jose State loss, too. That was catastrophic because Doug Brumfield got hurt in that game. And it seemed
that
like
was a bad game.
It was a bad game.
Man.
Brumfield got hurt, and
they were playing well going into that, and they got freaking smoked.
Yeah, I think they were 4-1, right? I think at that point.
And it was one of the first big exposures, if I remember, for Cam Friel.
Yes, it was.
It didn't go well.
No, it did not.
And he was going against his buddy Brent Brennan.
Yep, that's
it. I'm not going to say he didn't pull back because he shouldn't, but they didn't pull back.
No, they whooped them that night, and that was an experience. And you know what's funny is I think it was my first road trip with the team too. There's a whole bunch of things going on, but yeah, after a rear end kicking,
he was just happy to see a fresh face.
He was very nice,
and he could see the potential 8 years from then about what kind of shape you're going to be in.
That's right.
He could see it. He's like, this is a media guy who could actually be in shape. Unlike Cofield, get on the plane, jackass. Last night, Jordan Walker, home run derby winner. He is an emerging star, which you shouldn't have to say about a St. Louis Cardinal player, but the Cardinals fell off so badly the last couple of years that I think the mainstream didn't know about Jordan Walker, but he's a monster. There were high expectations. He's not old, but he's putting together a hell of a year, and that's a great thing for him because, listen, he makes a nice living. He's a Major League Baseball player, but he has not been established yet. He got $1 million last night for winning the home run derby. He doesn't make $1 million in the regular season.
No.
Can you imagine that kind of bonus?
Like your entire year's salary in a single day?
Yep.
That's absolutely wild, for sure. It's funny because I was making fun of who was I talking to today, but they brought that up too. It was like, it's a pittance. He's only making $800,000 a year.
Well, I noticed I didn't say it.
Yeah, but I will say just to stumble upon your salary to achieve it like that is absolutely insane. And good for him. Performed really well.
What do we do with the Cardinals in the second half? We're going to talk to Ray Kluever from William Hill, see what he thinks. He's odds maker for William Hill. Can the Cardinals make the playoffs? I mean, everything has come together for them pretty well. And I would say with that, to make the playoffs, I do think they have to go out and get help. And they've been an organization when they were really trying that would go get help. They should be in for Skubal. They should be in for Skubal, not only for this year, but they should be a candidate long term because they don't have high-level front-end pitching in their young guys. They have solid 3s and 4s, but that would be a program changer for the Cardinals.
I mean, they could be in on Skubal. The Tigers are going to compete for the American League Championship, so I don't think the Tigers are going to be willing to ship Skubal off.
Man, there's a lot going on. I was watching. Listen, I don't know all the agent dealings and the way Skubal addresses this news, but I was watching one of the. This is such a random reference. I should know his name, but one of the sports talk hosts at I forget which station in Detroit was flipping out about Skubal and his agent, to the point where he's like, "I'm done with him." I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I'd be done with him."
Right.
But the point is, there's a lot of drama going on, and fans at least are getting impatient. I agree with you. This is part of the game. I mean, here's the thing. If we want to tie it to what the Vegas Golden Knights have done, the Golden Knights will move on guys, but the Golden Knights have been the beneficiary of markets going, screw Eichel, tired of Marner. We'll take them. Yep. So if the Tigers, I think they're going to get something massive for Skubal if they choose to move on. Rumors right now are that the Yankees and Dodgers wouldn't be involved, which the Yankees should be involved.
Of course they should. I mean, that's absolutely. I mean, in an American League like this, if you can get a piece like Tarek Skubal, that's going to be absolutely insane. And to your point about the Cardinals, not only is it a young team, what the entirety of the American League looks like is what that final race for that final wild card spot in the NL looks like. There's a bunch of teams that aren't really good. Cardinals are only a game out. Why would you not try to make this push?
This guy was older at the time, but I still go back, whenever it was now, 8 years ago. The trade of Justin Verlander to the Astros changed the entire picture around baseball, and the Dodgers and Yankees sat on their hands.
You mean late round pick twice designated for assignment Justin Verlander? Did you see this yesterday?
What was this?
I think it was Alex Rodriguez who was like,
Oh,
hey,
he screwed it up.
You were a late-round pick. You were designated for assignment twice. And Verlander goes, you talking about me? Like, you got the wrong notes, dude.
Oh, no. I thought you were suggesting that Verlander was, like, twirling some tale about how he was a gritty, gutty story. I'm like, you can't lie like that.
No. A-Rod.
Verlander was a freaking stud.
A-Rod got his notes mixed up. And
Oh,
Verlander on the spot was like, you're talking about me? That's exactly what he said.
How did A-Rod react? Did he just laugh?
He
or
just
get
laughed
mad?
and then tried to move on to like, how do you tell these young guys about your longevity? Like,
Just looking at me like, okay, come on. I get it. I was wrong. Number 3.
Number 3.
Home Run Derby last night. Netflix. Let's do it.
absolutely tremendous event and broadcast, Steve, from what I'm told. I didn't watch a second of it. And it's not because it was on Netflix, and it's not because I was here either, because I was here, and then I had some work to do. I wouldn't have watched it if I was home doing nothing.
Do your job!
Look at the results. It's the home run derby. I
You
shouldn't
didn't bet
say
it?
who cares. I did, and I didn't watch
I was going to say, even if you bet it, you probably wouldn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. Just okay.
Who'd you bet?
Murakami and Caglione. So you could tell also they didn't even get out of pool play. Didn't even really matter. I don't know, man. Like, I view All-Star breaks as just that, so I'm not really into
You're
it.
on break, too.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. Tonight, maybe I'll throw it on me, but not really, because we're going to be here, and I might be watching basketball or doing whatever. So I've never been into the home run derby. I will say, I do like the change in the format, because now the fatties have a chance. They're not going to gas out trying
What was the change?
So the change was, for those who don't remember, there was a timer before. So these guys were trying to get as many swings in as humanly possible in a finite amount of time. Now it is based on swings. So 20 swings for the first round and then 15 for the final 2 rounds. And so that makes a really big difference. You're not going to gas out. You're not going to try to swing as many times as possibly can inside of a time span to try to get as many home runs as possible. You have a finite amount of swings, so it allows you to really at least pace yourself, measure yourself, and get after it. So I think that works. I think that's the right way to do it. And at least they're changing things, trying to make it better. So that's
But
good.
what about it being on Netflix? I mean, I can't go to a bar and watch Netflix.
This isn't a bar thing, is it? I
think all sports are a bar thing. It's a possibility of being a bar thing. I think Netflix does present a challenge to bars. We haven't really gotten into this, but there's some extra fees coming up where your favorite bar locally is going to have to make a decision, like how many thousands of dollars are we going to spend to show the NFL, which is now on like 9 outlets. There's a breaking point.
Oh, sure. I mean, I shouldn't say if you're smart, because it depends on how much clientele you get and what business you get, but I think for sure it's probably going to be at the top of the list of things you want to make some room for in your expenses. You have to you have to have Netflix. During a football season, all of these things, to be one of the few bars that will actually have it, you have to be.
Do you have Netflix?
I do.
Sometimes I don't know why I have it, but I also don't.
I
I don't know what is on anything.
I think about this all the time.
There's another story. Basically, it's what was it? The whole NBA thing. It's like I don't know where the games are on. What sort of app do you use on your TV in the first place?
Well, but see, what annoys me about that is just pull up ESPN.com. Every single game has the network it's on labeled on the box score. So it's a stupid thing to say, I don't even know what it's on anymore. It's a stupid bit. You know what it's on.
I really don't know what channel stuff is on. They just come up. And believe me, I don't have some like high-tech system.
Well, that's the other part, too. Your smart TV,
right.
It tells you. When everything pops up, it's just, all right, just select the ad, and then you'll be taken to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
It's ridiculous. But
my TVs are all my TVs are smart TVs. They're at least 10 years old.
I mean,
They're all 10 years old.
I mean, not appreciate this, but you've talked about being frugal and whatnot, and I try to be. I've been trying to watch my budget, and I realized the other day that I was paying for Paramount, even though I never used it. Like, not once did I use it.
Dude, we pay for so many channels. It's out of control. I know over the years we've double paid.
Oh, and then now
we're getting this channel on through this service and then this. I'm like, what are we doing?
So now, because time is cyclical, you think about this brand new breaking ground idea that Disney Plus is going to come out with. You guys ready for this? This is insane. It is a free version of Disney Plus that shows a limited amount of shows and movies that you can watch for free with commercials. It's cable. It's free cable. Like, we're right back to where we were. And they're like, look at this great idea. It's like, yeah, man, I had that. And then you all started these stupid streaming services.
Well, but when you say you all started it, who asked for it? I was one of them who asked for it.
You were
12 years ago. I was like, can we just buy individually what we want? And now I look up and I'm like, every one of them's $19. I'm like, this was the dumbest idea ever. I am an idiot.
I get HBO for free because I have unlimited data on my phone.
I probably get free stuff. I'm old.
I just like this idea of it's a great idea.
I think I get senior discounts all over the place I'm not taking advantage of.
Oh, that's stupid.
It is dumb.
Yeah.
I can't do the show anymore. I got to get to dinner every day at 4 o'clock. What the hell am I doing here?
Early bird special. You'd be up for practice.
Yes. And I'd be up at like you said, I'm not getting up at 3:45. All right, next up.
Number 2.
What a nightmare. They are shutting down some of the stars from the draft in the NBA Summer League, and people are pissed.
Yeah, but you should expect this. These are assets. They're very valuable assets, especially the big names. We got the news today. AJ DeBonce is not going to play for the rest of the Summer League. Cam Boozer is going to play today, so that's good. Second leg of a back-to-back. And that's actually pretty surprising because, remember, they participated in the Salt Lake Summer League, too. So he's played a lot. But Boozer's going to play tonight. We'll see if he plays after this, but I think this should be expected. Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonce, and others, they're very valuable, and they don't want them to get hurt.
Giveaway time. We got some concert tickets coming up at T-Mobile September 19th. A chance to go see Five Finger Death Punch. I think I know about them because they've done a lobby show with Comp, but I also watched the documentary last week. I'm going to have to look up during the break because I think people want to hear my take on their guitar player. It's like random knowledge I have.
Okay.
But I can't remember everything. My mind is crammed with Jordan Walker knowledge or like JKG knowledge. I only have so much left. Caller 7 right now, Five Finger Death Punch, T-Mobile. Special guest is Cody Jinks, AXS or Ticketmaster. If you don't win the tickets, James going to hook you up right now. Caller 7, 364-1100.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
40 minutes left in this edition of Cofield and Company before we head off on ESPN Las Vegas to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. This part of the show is brought to you by Battleborn Injury Lawyers. Call from anywhere in the state of Nevada, 766-1400. Almost forgot the number. 775-766-1400 in the north, because we are on ESPN Reno and here on ESPN Las Vegas. If you need advice, you need help, call the fine folks at Battleborn Injury Lawyers, Matt Hoffman and Justin Watkins, 766-1400. All right, let's find out what's going on behind the counter, as John did not win on the home run derby last night. Ray Kluever joins us every Tuesday from William Hill. Ray, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. We weren't that scintillated by the home run derby. Did you watch it? And how'd you guys do behind the counter? Did you guys win?
Yeah. Needless to say, it was a very good home run derby for the books. I mean, Jordan Walker was the least bet individual in the home run derby, and we only had 2 losers, and it was Bryce Harper and Rice. They were the only 2 losers, and so it worked out very well for the books. Being that a guy doubled his salary in one night kind of makes for an interesting story in itself.
Yeah. Let's get back to baseball in 3 minutes. Let's concentrate on the most recent sporting event, and that was the World Cup today. What it looked like at the book. I know you didn't have any real big liability. USA would have brought the house down had they won the World Cup, but what did it look like for France and Spain?
Well, it was real good because France to advance was a big liability, but Spain winning outright was very good for us. And I think even like some of the props with France over a half a goal, over 1.5 goals, to win by a goal and a half, to win by a half, France was definitely the public side of that match. And now we get Spain and the winner of Argentina and England, and we'll see what happens there. But it was a very good – the entire World Cup is good. Tomorrow's game, we're going to need a draw, though. We're going to need 90 minutes of 1-1, 0-0, 2-2. Both sides are losers for us in the Argentina-England games. So if you're on the book side tomorrow, you're playing a draw.
Hey, if you're with the other ripple effects of France getting eliminated, with Kylian Mbappe now out, what does that mean for your Golden Boot book? Because I would assume that that's pretty good that he is out too, right?
Well, is he out? Because they have a third-place game now.
That's a good point.
They have a third-place game, so I don't think he's out. And sometimes in them third-place games, You can almost bet the over blindly because they're going to be firing. They might not all go in, but they're going to be firing at the net. So, I mean, the Golden Boot is kind of up in the air for see who wins it. If Mbappe goes and scores 2-3 goals, who knows what happens? And who knows what Messi does tomorrow?
Ray, give me your overall thoughts on the World Cup, if there's anything gambling related or competition or VAR.
Yeah, there's one thing. Well, VAR is another story. We could spend a half an hour on VAR. Replay as a whole, you could spend half an hour. We should do our own show on it. I have plenty on it. But, no, I have a pet peeve on the World Cup. Today I was in Mesquite, and I was driving back, and thought hit me that how long has Europe been playing soccer? So I went to Gemini. I have it in my nav system, and I asked Gemini when soccer started, and they told me in the late 1200s. And the soccer official rules were put in place in 1864. But somehow when you listen to radio throughout this city, national TV, ESPN, everything, we all have rule changes we want to make. And I think they've been playing this long enough that they got all the rules down pat that we should just enjoy the game and not worry about rules we'd like to make it more exciting. We have our own football to make it exciting, and it drives me crazy that everybody's trying to improve soccer. And I don't know, I've never seen anything so interesting and so exciting as the last month has been with the World Cup being in these three countries.
John, do you want to be the arrogant American?
Yeah, for a second. And actually, I think this is a rule. No, this is a rule that I think you would be down with because it's not actually that dramatic of a change. Okay? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The only change I would make is that the player that is fouled has to take the penalty kick. I don't like that you can pick your best player. That's the only thing I would change.
I even like that, JVT. I even like that a lot. Yes, I do. But good luck trying to get somebody. You know, I watch the EPL every week, and I absolutely love it because I go into work about 3 in the morning, and it's great to put it on at 4:30 on a Saturday morning before college football. You put a little EPL, it gets you warmed up. So I see all them talking about it. And my better half is looking at me, who happens to be a soccer fan, and she doesn't like your rule change. I'll just put it that way.
All right, I won't bring up my shot clock rule. Then we can move on from that.
All right, let's talk British.
Good luck with that.
With Ray Kluever from William Hill. Scott Scheffler is 7-1. McIlroy right behind him at 750. It looks like this course is going to be pretty firm and fast. So what are you looking at for the British Open with William Hill?
I mean, we got a lot of activity on it. It's been a lot of fun over the last couple of weeks, and the fact they played in Scotland last week, the handle is going to be enormous. It really is. People are really excited, and it goes along with the argument that we live in the greatest time zone in the world to watch sports, because it'll start about midnight and can go all morning, and you can wake up to a little breakfast, a little Bloody Mary, whatever your preference is, and watch golf all day, all weekend. And I just absolutely love the fact that college football starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and the NFL starts at 10. And the British Open just brings it to heart that we live in a great time zone for sports. I've lived in every time zone for at least 7 years, and there's not even a close second to what we get out here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so some of the names that have been pretty popular: Matt Fitzpatrick, Scotty Scheffler's got some long odds next to his name that we're not used to seeing. So what are some of the names that are sticking out in terms of action?
Well, obviously, I got 4 guys that I really like, and they're all at the top of the odds board. Because the course is going to be so tough, don't try to outthink it. It's Rory and Scheffler. Matt Fitzpatrick has been just absolutely on a roll. Yeah, he kind of buckled under in the 4th round on Sunday, but he's still going to be there. And Tommy Fleetwood's playing on his home course, literally home course. It's the first course he ever played on. He's there. I got 2 long shots that I talked to our guys in the office today about golf long shots. And Thomas Detry, he's like 200 to 1. And Chikara, they're both DP World Tour guys, but Chikara is about 125 to 150 to 1, depending on where you shop. And it seems that sharps are really liking them right now. Thomas Detry and Chikara are 2 long shots to maybe throw a little pizza money on.
Major League Baseball second half. Let's build on Walker. I wanted to talk about the teams to fade or back. Do you like the Cardinals? I had other teams to fade, like the Astros and the Padres. Are any of those teams kind of scary in the second half, and people should be fading them?
Well, I think the Cardinals, I think they're going to head in the other direction. I think it's Cubs and Brewers, and the Cubs could be the team on the rise. But Astros, I haven't liked them all year. I think we had this conversation about 6 weeks ago or so, and I like the Texas Rangers, and I still do. And I think Texas can extend their lead over Seattle. I think they're a better club. And if they make any moves at the trade deadline, I got a bonus bet at a book, and I played it all on an exacta, the Dodgers over the Texas Rangers. It was a nice 22-1 little exacta to throw free bet on. So I really like Texas. I think they're gonna be the team on the rise, and I haven't believed in the Astros and the Padres. They belong in a psych ward. There's something wrong with that team. Somebody needs to dig deep and figure out their mental capacity is about zero. All you got to do is watch them play one game, and you can figure that out.
Ray, you guys have a lot of college football up there. Games throughout the season. Obviously, conference odds. Mountain West and ACC both have their football media days. Let's take a minute here on the ACC, which is pretty interesting. I don't know that I'm super comfortable with Miami being this big a favorite in the conference. I think there's pretty good balance in this conference. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think you have three really good potential upsets of Miami to win that league in SMU, Louisville, and Clemson. And I think Louisville, Jeff Brom, their head coach, has always done kind of this in his third or fourth year at a university where they turn around. I mean, let's face it, that guy turned Purdue around. He got Purdue to a bowl in their last year there. So, I mean, Miami's going to be good, but I think they have way been overrated at this time, this early. And how I know that is you got to look at what their odds are to win the national title, and they're 11, 12, 15-1. Well, if they were truly a favorite, and yes, the ACC is not your strongest conference, and who knows, maybe Florida State might just, in 35-1, might be worth a little pizza money on them too. So I love the ACC's balance this year. I really do. It'll be interesting. I mean, Miami also has to play Notre Dame. I know it's not a conference game, but it may be a true read throughout the season as to who is who.
Ray, good spot. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Have a great week.
Ray Kluever, William Hill. Make sure you take advantage of summer rewards. Opt in. If you don't have a William Hill mobile account, you got to go to williamhill.us to get information, and it is one of my favorite apps in town. And the betting menu has gotten deeper and deeper. And football, as Ray mentioned last week, there'd be a little pressure to put a bunch of college football and NFL up in like a week. Yeah. They've had it up for months, and then the parlay boost. The parlays already for college football and NFL are insane. All the suggested parlays are really cool stuff. Giveaway time, 364-1100, 364-1100. Totally Tubular is playing at the Sahara in a couple of weeks. Has a big show coming up with Thomas Dolby, Flock of Seagulls, and others. You can get your tickets at the Sahara box office. You can get a pair right now through James. Caller 7, 364-1100.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
JVT, you going to bet the British Open?
Yeah, I have a couple of guys, especially Scotty. Some of those prices, top 10, not make the cut, and to win outright. You haven't seen prices like that on him in a while.
So you can retain your activity and interest in the sport, even though many of the participants are annoying.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good at that. I'm a pretty objective guy.
Last week, was it Spieth who was speaking out against gambling? Now what do we got?
Yeah, so Spieth, for those who don't remember, Jordan Spieth, a FanDuel representative, was bemoaning the fact that fans were being mean on the course because of sports betting. His last 3 tweets were all, of course, FanDuel-sponsored tweets.
Sweet. Yeah, give back the money.
So today, or yesterday actually, we had Matt Fitzpatrick as part of all the media availability for all these golfers, and he was asked about this. Fan treatment has been a very big deal here on the tour about this. And I thought there was a couple of bites here that were worth playing if you want me to set them up, because the first one, you'll hear Fitzpatrick talk about just the general abuse that he sees out on the course.
I've had my fair share. I would say every golfer that's played a professional tournament has had a message of abuse from someone that is related to gambling.
So he starts by that. He's talking about social media as well, some of the tweets that he's getting. This, Steve, is my favorite part of Matthew Fitzpatrick, who goes on to expand on his thoughts on sports gambling.
Difficult because, I've had 20 quid on England to win the World Cup. So, but at the same time, if it doesn't come in, I'm not going to send a message to Harry Kane and be like, why did you play rubbish? It's like, there's obviously individuals that have that problem. I don't know, obviously, I don't condone gambling in the slightest. It's not really for me. It's a thing that me and my mate do every World Cup and Euros. That's it.
That's horrendous. He knew as soon as he started talking that he was wading into deep waters and being hypocritical.
Of course, and that is always my biggest point. And I'll give her props for this because I don't really enjoy her content as much. But Katie Nolan, I saw her. She was at some advertising committee, board, convention, whatever you want to call it. And she talked about how on her show she does not have gambling advertising. But I thought her reasoning was nuanced. It was not sports gambling's evil and all of you I'm not doing. No, it was, look, the morality of it is fine. You can do it if you want. But her thought was, I don't want to be the person that introduces it to somebody via ads on my show, and then they go down that slippery slope. Like, that's fine. All right, I can understand logic like that. Whatever. For Matthew Fitzpatrick to come out and say, I can't condone gambling in the slightest, but all I do is throw 20 quid on England, and it's just something me and my mates do. I liken it to, cops will tell you when they pull people over for a DUI, and the routine answer is always, oh, I had 2 beers. No, you had more. And I'm sorry, you're worth $13 to $15 million allegedly. You're not just throwing 20 quid on England to win the World Cup, and it's not just something you do with your mates. It's massively hypocritical.
Why are so many athletes, one, soft? We know golfers are soft because they're not accustomed to getting negativity, and now this must be the root. These fans have changed. No, you're bringing out different fans, and yeah, some of them may be more intense because of gambling. Toughen up, Buttercup, okay? You deal with the quietest atmosphere and environment in any sport. The other thing is, I live in Nevada because I don't want someone policing my morality. I don't need rules. If I want to go off the tracks, then I will go off the tracks. What's with the balls on everyone? And I don't want them to go down that path. Well, then are you anti-drinking? Are you anti-prescription drugs? It's just stop.
Correct.
This is the hot button issue. There are so many people on their moral high horse daily who, by the way, in some shape and form, benefit from sports gambling.
The PGA Tour benefits greatly.
Of course it does.
They sell their official data. They make money from it, more money in the purses of all of these golfers.
There's no doubt in my mind that golf would be on the downswing and less popular than ever if it wasn't for, one, COVID coming along, and two, a gambling explosion because they were like the only sport around. They benefited immensely. Golf stinks. The only way to make it super interesting or more interesting is to actually have gambling on it. But people forget. It's just like, oh, no. Naturally, people love golf. We can't go and cheer. You can't make noise. You guys are nowhere near the average person. Why does anyone like golf? Because we can bet it.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
It's funny, I often think for people who watch the show on a regular basis, if they think when you and I start yelling about something, if it's genuine, I was still hot under the collar on the golf and gambling thing. I'm so tired of hearing from these guys about how people are being mean to them, and it's gambling that's doing it. I had someone who's a really big golf fan text me, and they were like, golf would lose 90% of its audience if gambling wasn't around.
Of course.
Football would lose, NFL would lose like 30% of its audience.
Well, and so
if there was no sports gambling, I don't know what it would do to college football. We don't, again, I guess I don't get it because I live in Nevada for a reason. Yes, it's work-related, relationship-related, friends-related, but it's also, we don't police everything from a morality standpoint. I don't need people to police me. We'll get to this in the close of the show. Let's bring in John Browner, who comes on with us every Tuesday, talks some NBA, talks sports in general from the Sporting Tribune. John's up on Cofield and Company. What's up, John?
Gambling makes everything better. I don't know who wants to.
Of course it does. How dumb is your state in terms of what the tax money? It's complicated because the Native American tribes have rights and whatever. We don't have to get into it, but how amazing will it be when Texas and California has sports gambling online?
I think one of the things people keep forgetting is we've been gambling since we were children. They just don't relate it the same. Remember, I could beat you to the end of the street. Or I could beat you to the garage. Like, that's where all this basically comes from. It's part of the sport. Now you put a nickel on it. Now people want to, get their panties in a bunch. But it's wild, man. There's a lot of sports that people would have zero interest if they were not a diehard if it wasn't for gambling. So it's interesting to hear people, especially in golf of all sports, get sideways about it.
Let's talk Lakers offseason. They continue to build the squad. They just signed, I think I saw the announcement today that Zaire Williams is signed. Did he play 1 year at Stanford? I think he played 1 year at Stanford. Played with Bronny in high school. Jonathan Kuminga, I thought, was done. What do you think of Kuminga if the Lakers can get him on a cheap deal, and will there be competition out there to sign him for some kind of monster deal? He's still a young guy with lots of potential.
It totally depends on what Jonathan Kuminga wants to do. I think the Jonathan Kuminga, breakout year have been coming for, since after his rookie year in the league. I don't know what he would do for the Lakers. Yes, they need a 3-and-D wing, but he has publicly said he doesn't want to do that. Jonathan Kuminga is looking for an opportunity to be the second best player on a contending team where he can score points and have the ball in his hands and make decisions. And if you look around the league right now, there's just no viable positions for him to do that at. So he's got to, have a come to Jesus moment with himself and find a team where he can be competitive at the end of the year, which will then turn around and tolerate and turn itself transition into money next year. There's no big deal out there for him. The team he currently has doesn't want to pay him. And everybody out there on the market is shying away because the teams are pretty much almost set. After LeBron makes this decision, a lot of dominoes are going to start falling. So if you're in a Jonathan Kuminga business, just means you're not in a LeBron business. So that I don't understand why this is taking so long for him.
Also, he's a 2-and-D wing. I mean, he's a 31% three-point shooter over the last 3 seasons. He doesn't even really fill out that role, right? I've always thought, John, it's pretty interesting. He is the most covered average player I think I've ever seen.
This is what winning can do for you.
Yeah.
As a young player on a winning team, you get this aura around you like you had something to do with the success. And that's what happened to him in Golden State because they always felt like no one tapped the potential of what he could be. They just saw a bunch of flashes on a championship team. And so the idea was that, there was not enough space made for him or they haven't properly allowed him to grow within the offense. Maybe he's too dumb to learn the offense. Maybe everywhere he goes, they kick the tires and go, you know what? Not at that price. So if the Lakers get involved in this and the Lakers can get him at a respectable level, absolutely you do it. Because the 3-and-D is just a title. I don't really worry about percentages either. I worry more about situations because it's a make or miss league. So in the right situation, he'll make more shots. Now, I would be more interested to see him land in a place like Denver, who needs a guy like that, another fast, athletic guy, because they're probably going to lose Peyton Watson, and Christian Brown has really come up short. So I would prefer to see him in a situation like that more than having a lot of pressure on him in Los Angeles.
So Watson's a pretty big piece still left on the board. Obviously, LeBron is the biggest. But of all these moves that we have seen, who would you dub a winner in the offseason so far?
Without question, the Philadelphia 76ers. This is not hard. They got a finals MVP, NBA champion, and a guy who was in the top 5 of the MVP voting last year to come to their team, upset with the last team in the division to play basketball. Like that was a layup. Like I don't really know why more people aren't talking about what the Sixers can now do with what they acquired in the offseason and also getting rid of the steroid body of Paul George. So I love what the Sixers did. I think adding Jaylen Brown puts a massive chip on his shoulder, and it allows them to move on from Joel Embiid when he does come or doesn't come back or he's hurt or he's not hurt. It just gives them way more flexibility with a high-caliber player.
I mean, to build on that, because I think they're a little top-heavy, but LeBaron Philon, I don't know how much of the Summer League you've been watching. He's been pretty good out here in Vegas. I think they're really hoping that what they're seeing from Philon out here is going to stick because they're not super deep.
Well, when you get to where they're at, it's okay to be top-heavy when you are trying to get through a playoff run. Because if you think about it, good playoff teams really only play two guys. As great as Philon's ball handling looks, he looks like a true point guard. But will he be able to really grow behind Tyrese Maxey, who's a ball handler, behind Jaylen Brown, who's a ball handler, behind Joel Embiid, who needs the ball? So coming off the bench, his role will be interesting because whoever is on the court once Joel Embiid comes off, that person becomes the majority ball handler, whether that be Tyrese Maxey or Jaylen Brown. And so I'm not necessarily worried about the depth on top-heavy teams because these teams are going for playoff runs. They're not going for regular season wins, and you need depth for regular season wins.
All right, so at most we've seen 3 games if you're a rookie that's played in every single contest out here in Summer League or maybe in the Salt Lake City Summer League as well. I would assume it's too early to determine who wins an NBA draft, but have you liked any of these guys and any of the performances you've seen from Summer League?
Oh, wow. I have. Caleb Wilson has been way better than advertised. I had no – because he was hurt and he played so few amount of games at UNC, and you heard a lot about it, but now seeing it, he looks as good as A.J. DeBonza, which, you know, they already shut DeBonza down, but DeBonza's first game, he was awesome. He was as advertised. Darren Peterson shot a lot, but he was as advertised. He looked great when he actually got on the court. Boozer has been terrific and steady every game. Like I said, Caleb Wilson has obviously been a star. I think the first bust or the person that I have the most criticism for is Keaton Wagler. I don't see it. I don't see, like, even with Darius Acuff Jr. going 7th, you can see something there. You can see he's got a level of physicality to his game and his ability to shoot. Like, you can see his A-plus skill that got him drafted where it got him drafted. Even Mikael Brown Jr., who went to the Nets, who has a back issue, but you can see what the Nets saw in him to make him the 6th pick. I don't know what the Clippers saw in Keaton Wagler to have him drafted before those two guys. I don't know what their evaluation was when it comes from a talent standpoint to take him 5th over Brown and over Acuff. I just don't see it.
Darren Peterson learned the other day when he dropped 23 on his head, though, in that game. I'm a Clippers fan, by the way.
And listen, the Clipper fans need all the help they can get. Okay? They need all the insight they can get. They need all the plus play. I just don't understand, and I don't really, again, take shooting percentages in the Summer League into consideration. From a physicality standpoint, I understand he needs to get stronger. But the step back against NBA defenders, big physical guys who've watched tape on you, professional defenders, a lot of his game, I don't know where it's going to come from. I thought that we would see more of him from a passing standpoint, his ability to come off the pick and roll, find guys, and kind of control the game. He's really just been shooting off of screens. So again, from the 7 guys who I named, he's the one where I have the most questions about after. And then again, it's a very small sample size, but I've got the most questions about him after 2 games.
John Browner's with us, Sporting Tribune. Let's go rapid fire, 4 questions in 4 minutes. Let's look ahead in the NBA season to Christmas. Give me a prediction now that around Christmas it's going to be like, oh, yeah, I should have seen that coming.
The Washington Wizards will be the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference.
What?
You asked me for something crazy. Look at their lineup. They're refusing to trade Anthony Davis. Okay, I understand that.
All right.
They have Trae Young. They have another George guy. There's a lot of Georges in the NBA. Then you have A.J. DeBonza, who you now see the skill as the number 1 pick. You have Anthony Davis, who's one of the best defenders in the league. And you have Alex Sarr, who was turning the corner before Bam scored 80 points on him. So that starting lineup, with all the young players that they have, the Washington Wizards are going to shock a lot of people when the season starts. I think that there's a misunderstanding because they had all their guys hurt or they weren't allowing guys to play to try to get the number 1 pick. It worked out for them. And now they're going to take all this talent healthy into a season. And by Christmas, people will be coming back to the show and going, damn, that guy was right.
Roundtable, you can find a lot of these takes daily, pretty much daily, up at Browners Podcast on Twitter. What do you think of McGregor fight this weekend, and what happened to MMA in that main event?
It was sad. It was really – again, there was some good cards. There were good fights on that card. The Patty chokeout was awesome. But at this point, for UFC, they need stars. Because a person like me, I'm not knee-deep in the fight game, whether it be boxing or whether it be mixed martial arts. And so to get me to the television, I need a name. John Jones is no longer around. Yeah, they let Gina Carano and what's her name scam
Ronda
people out of
Rousey,
money.
yeah.
That was Ronda Rousey. That's cool. I like a good scam, especially when it's on primetime television on Netflix. Get your money, ladies. Conor McGregor, same thing. George St. Pierre, same thing. I need a superstar to get me to the card to watch the rest of the card. And Patty's good, but outside, I just didn't see enough. And what has become of Conor McGregor is an unfortunate story, but it seems like he's trying to get his life in order. He can't fight anymore. I just don't think he can fight anymore. And what he did for that sport at the time he did it was amazing. And it's sad to see him go out like that. But, shout out to Holloway for not destroying him when he could have.
I know, right?
And showing that he has character and there is a level of respect in the sport.
Last 30 seconds, and I only have 30. What got you more fired up? NFL Top 100, where Lamar Jackson is number 69 in the league, or the precipitous fall of Jalen Hurts on the quarterback rankings?
Oh, I love that Jalen Hurts is finally being exposed, man. Lamar Jackson, it's been a long time coming, but now he finds himself in the same position at 69, which is crazy, but he was hurt. At this point, I don't know what more. By the way, throw Brock Purdy on there too. Just nowhere to be found. I love it. They're nowhere to be found in the top 10. It makes my day. It makes me smile.
John, we appreciate your time. Great stuff. Everyone out there, make sure you're watching Sporting Trib today, Sporting Trib Live, as they're on Sunday to Thursday. John is absolutely a big part of that cast. You can find it at Sporting Trib. Thank you, John.
Always.
At Browners Podcast. Yeah, I mentioned the other day. What was it, yesterday? Yeah. Monday. Reacting to the McGregor loss, that my bets in that fight were under 2.5 rounds and a Max submission, 9-1. I'm like, Max, jump on him, beat the hell out of him, and choke him out. No mercy.
I parlayed England to advance with Max Holloway to win, and yes, I was very happy.
I mean, very easy bet. I don't think the fix was in. I don't think they had prior knowledge. It'll be something we can get into tomorrow. Get on out here to the NBA Summer League. UNLVtickets.com is where you can get your tickets for the NBA Summer League. MLB All-Star Game is up next on ESPN Las Vegas.